What's up, guys and gals, and everybody in between? Aliens and ghosts and ghouls and goblins. This is, as soon as I quiet my phone, this is a glorious day. Why is it a glorious day, guys? Why do I say that? Because this is Geoff Johns fucked up the DCEU day. I know it's a long title, but mark this day down in your calendars. Geoff Johns fucked up the DCEU day. Pass it on. We have been going through a lot of shit. We have been through a lot of shit. Especially, I've been in it now. This is my second year in the movement. There's people that's been about a year before me. But throughout this movement, I've seen all kind of shit. Infighting. I've seen fighting against everything. Other corporations fighting against blue checks, fighting against everything. We were trying to just battle our way to get this movie, right? But one thing maybe I should say it like this. One thing we never really like to battle is like snakes in our own camp. Because then you got to point fingers. You kind of got to look around and see who's a snake. You kind of stop trusting people and shit like that. But a good reason to think about all this stuff, and even the reason why we're talking about this is because think about, like, remember all the way back when the DCEU was first getting started, getting off the ground. It seemed like they had it all. It seemed like this was about to be a dream come true for all movie lovers. All comic book movie lovers. Not just like the Marvel fans and, wanting that same old generic movie with the jokes and the fucking same kind of characters, same kind of boring little look to a movie. This was something bigger and better. This was potentially going to be like huge. It had everybody involved from, Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan was in the backgrounds. You had Ben Affleck potentially doing a trilogy, a Batman trilogy, writing it, maybe directing it. You had, it just so much potential. It was like potentially the most dominant movie tandem ever, right? Or the most dominant movie team like ever put together. This was gonna be something wow. Marvel was doing this thing and everybody was like, yeah, Marvel, that's cool, but wait until you see what DC does. Wait until you see what DC does. And it started out, Man of Steel did good. It was a hell of a movie. It's still one of my favorite movies ever. Then we had Batman vs. Superman. And I think Batman vs. Superman is my favorite movie. But then it was starting to get like some rumblings. And the rumblings was coming on from the outside. It looked like they were coming along from the outside. But the rumblings was really... Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Excuse me. See, even thinking about Geoff Johns makes me yawn. The rumblings was really being orchestrated from the inside. Like, this team was so powerful, it could only be killed from the inside. Marvel couldn't do it from the outside. Disney, I think Disney was involved with Geoff Johns because, he's friends with, what's his name? Kevin Feige. He wanted to be a Kevin Feige of the DCEU. And I think, my personal opinion, they were probably planning if he got the role of the Kevin Feige of the DCEU, they were probably going to try to do a crossover. And to do that, they needed the DCEU to be more like Marvel. Now, people say they wanted to copy Marvel's money and blah, blah, blah. But no, if the DCEU wasn't fucked with, they would probably be superior than Marvel. They would probably be superior to even Marvel's money. But the reason I'm doing this video is because a lot of people really still don't know that the damage caused to the DCEU was done in-house. And today is so glorious because we can finally say fuck Geoff Johns and be real about it, because him, all those other people in the background, Joss Whedon, those little Marvel, Disney, DC connections is what fucked up our glorious DCEU. What we planned for, it was like a dream come true that never happened. But it probably still could happen if we continue to fight like this. But today we're bringing awareness to what fucked it up. And I love this shit because it needs to be said. Geoff Johns, he still goes around. He probably, has his little writing job and but Geoff Johns, you need to know that all of these people that tweets out, released the Snyder Cut, all these people that you see love Zack Snyder, they don't like you. I know if people don't want to focus on like negativity all the time, but Geoff Johns, it needs to be said that you really, 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 really thought you were smart, and you thought you had a plan, and you thought you were going to bring some gloriousness to the film industry. But what you did probably brought shame to your name forever. It's a lot of people that really don't fucking like you, dog. It's a lot of people that hate how y'all did Zack. Didn't even wait for him to come back after a family tragedy to finish what he started. Kind of pushed him out before that, y'all had little issues. You trying to do, the No Man's Land scene can't be in Wonder Woman, and you had your other little stuff you wanted to say and all this and that and other. But you wasn't doing that for creative control or tasteful Geoff Johns mark. I think y'all were sabotaging that shit purposely because Disney wanted to compete with Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, Ben Affleck, Patty Jenkins, James Wan, all these people getting together with all of these actors, Kevin Costner, fucking Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, everybody that was coming together in DC. It was making it very hard for Disney to compete. So I personally think Disney commissioned you to sabotage the DCEU while working in Warner Brothers. So I'm just putting that out there, so now maybe someone smarter than me can compound on that and continue. We saw recently that David Ayer said the mother box and the boom tube was supposed to be in Suicide Squad, and y'all took that shit out in the last minute. Y'all took that out. Why? Who knows? The New Gods were going to show up or start showing up a little bit earlier than they did, but y'all took all that shit out in Justice League, and now you're going to get another Disney director, another, what's her name? I forgot. The girl who's going to do the New Gods, which we hope never comes out. Shazam was a fucking flop. Nobody liked Shazam. We hope, people are really kind of hoping that Matt Reeves' Batman flops because everybody wants to see the Ben Affleck Batman. It's like you didn't care about the enormous amount of people that you were going to shit on, and you thought you can get away with it. But I'm only throwing salt in your wound today to make sure you never get away with it. That's it. Because if these videos go on YouTube, and hopefully they last forever, the world will always know what we potentially had in 2013, 14, 15, 16, and 17 was ruined, I think deliberately ruined, by Geoff Johns and his crew. And it was the dumbest decision probably ever made in Hollywood history. Now Hollywood is getting beat up on by Netflix. But if we had all of these great movies from 2013, it probably would have been a survival. Hollywood will probably be in a better place right now. Warner Brothers will definitely be in a better place right now. We won't, like, you're down there. I think you're writing for CW. I don't know, but nobody gives a fuck about CW either. We just want to today throw salt in the wound of you and say Geoff Johns ruined the DCEU. Pass this shit on. Geoff Johns fucked up the DCEU. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Don't be a bitch. Do not grow up to be like Geoff Johns. If you could look in the, dictionary and find out, the definition of bellend, it will probably have a Geoff Johns picture next to the word bellend. Look that up. Bellend. Bellend. AKA Geoff Johns. Ya bitch.